Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to my video where I'm going to be talking about taking the theory test for the state of Michigan. In this video, I'm going to be talking about taking the theory portion for the cosmetology test for the state of Michigan. I just recently took the test in June and I passed on my first try. So I wanted to share some of the helpful tips and tricks that I use to help me to study for the theory test. So as a disclaimer, I am in Michigan where I'm licensed at, but the tips that I found can pretty much help you no matter what state you're in. What you would have to do is just check your specific rules and regulations for taking the state board cosmetology exam. But the tips I'm going to pass along to you will pretty much be applicable to any state. In the state of Michigan, you can schedule your theory portion after you pass the practical portion of your exam. So I took the practical portion like the first to last week in May, and then about a week or so later, I scheduled to take the theory portion of the test. Some of the study aids that I use to help me with taking the theory portion of the test, there were three different things that I used to study with. The first one is a YouTube channel and it's called Beauty Health Travels, and I'll leave the link at the bottom so you guys can take a look at that. And on there, I want to say they're located in the state of California, but they have over at least 20-25 different videos that will help you as far as the practical and the theory portion. And what I liked about the theory portion was they were very thorough and they had slides that you could kind of pause and take notes of. So that's one of the YouTube channels that, although they're in a different state, the information that they gave you is pretty much straight across the board as far as what you're going to see on the theory portion, and it's broken down into different sections. And they also have at the end where you can take like their little practice exam, which is very good to help for your memory for what could possibly be a question on the actual test. The next study aid that I use is, and I know I'm going to be mispronouncing this, but this is the name of it. I think that's pronounced Mamatrix. I know I'm jacking that up. But anyway, this is it. And these were cosmetology exam flashcards, and there are about 200 flashcards. I think they were about $30-40 somewhere in there, but you can go to their website. I'll leave the link, and then they give you like 200 flashcards. So you'll have the question on the front, and then you'll have the answer on the other side. So these are really good because you can kind of play a game that they'll teach you when you go on the website. They have, when you go on the website to order it, you'll order your flashcards, and then what they're going to send you is like a DVD. And in that DVD, it'll have really good study tips and tricks. And what they did with the flashcards was they played like this little game where if you had two boxes, you would put up a flashcard, do the question, see if you got the answer right, put it in one box. If you didn't get the question right, then you put it in another box. And then it's like a neat little game to help with your memory. So I would highly encourage, if you're that type that likes flashcards, to check out this website. And like I said, I'll put a link at the bottom. The last study aid I used was actually from Aveda, which is the school I graduated from. I still had access to the learning lab, and on the learning lab it had practice sessions you could do for the theory portion. So I went through I think almost all of those, and that was broken down into sections again, as you'll see, as potential questions that could be on the exam, and those were really good study aids. I would highly encourage, if you do still have access to your learning tools from the school that you attended, to take those practice exams if they offer those, because those are generally a good representation of what's going to be on the actual state board exam. So on the actual test, I remember there being, it seemed like more than 100 questions. I know everything says it's 100, but for some reason I remember it being 105. I don't know why that is, but that's just my memory. So just be prepared for that. For the most part, there will definitely be 100, but when I took the exam, for some reason, I felt like there were a couple of questions more. When you are taking the exam, please be sure to read each question all the way through. After you read the question, then do kind of sort of like a process of elimination, so you narrow your choices down. What I did find was when I was taking that exam, the questions are worded really, really tricky. So you have to just kind of relax and read the question before you actually select an answer and do a process of elimination so that doesn't get you too confused. So the questions, like I said, are going to be 100. They're going to be broken up, so there's not like one specific section that are covered nails. No, it's just like scrambled up. So as far as, I remember my teacher telling me that for Michigan we had to know, like I think it was regulations or the rules 1 through 6. I only remember it being maybe 2 or 3 questions pertaining to those specific codes for the cosmetology portion. So there weren't a lot, and to me they were almost like common sense questions and answers that you should know. Nothing that was really that difficult. So there wasn't a huge section. So if you're going through those codes or rules and regulations that they tell you 1 through 6 for the cosmetology exam for the state of Michigan, I would know it, but just know that it's not legal intensive. They do have a practice session before you start the exam, so I would utilize those. That way when you're actually doing the questions, you don't make a mistake and submit something that you didn't mean to. I want to say there were about maybe 5 questions, maybe 10, I'm not sure. But there is a practice session, so go through the practice session before you even start taking the exam, so you'll know the directions and you'll make sure you're submitting the correct answers. As far as another good tip to study, don't think that you can possibly cram and go through everything and remember and be able to pass this test, because you won't. I'm sorry, if you're the type that thinks, oh, well, I'm a better test taker if I cram. No, you'll fail and then you waste the money. Then you got to pay it over again. What I did was I started like 30 days before, and each day I spent an hour on the theory and an hour on the practical, so that way when it came time to take the test, I didn't feel rushed and I felt like, okay, I know I need a certain percentage. I'll probably get that percentage. If I get higher than that, then great. But for the most part, I took 30 days before it. An hour on theory and an hour on practical, and when it came to the test time, I was pretty much relaxed. Also, another tip that I found, if you're this type of person, I found that when I had my flashcards or when I was using the lab tools that were available through Aveda, I wrote the questions out and the answers, and that helped me to memorize things. So that's a neat little trick. I know that it seems like a lot, like 100 questions, writing those out, but trust me, if you do that, that will help your memory to recall things a little bit better. And when you see them on the actual exam, it'll be like, hey, I know this is the answer. So the night before the exam, be sure to get plenty of rest. I also, on the night of the exam, I looked over my notes one time and that was it. Then I went to sleep, woke up the next day, ready for the exam. I made sure to have brain food, and I'll make some list of some different brain foods, or a website that I went to that had some good suggestions. I listened to music, I listened to something motivational to get my mind off of it. And when I got to the test, I was relaxed. I wouldn't try to look over all my notes on the day before, because I feel like for some reason if you do that, when you get to the test, it'll make you feel so tense that if you just relax before you take the test, you'll have a much better probability of passing it. So that's it for the theory portion. I did also do another video on the practical portion for the state of Michigan. I'll put that link there. Feel free to look at that, because there are some very helpful tips and tricks that you can use to pass that as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please leave me a comment if you've taken the state board for whatever state you're in, how you felt about it, and other tips and tricks that people may want to know about that may help them as well. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell so you can get notifications of all the videos when I post them. If you're watching this on another social media, please be sure to follow me. Please be sure to share this video with others that may find it useful, and leave me a comment to let me know how your state board went as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Have a great day. Bye.